No man is truly free unless he first learns to master himself. Epictetus knew that, and he lived it. Now imagine this: you're a man, and your whole life is nothing more than a rehearsal for a role you were never meant to play. You spend years chasing, apologizing, bending, adjusting, handing over your time, your money, even your peace, all just to feel good enough for someone who was never yours to begin with. And if that stings when you hear it, good. That means you're still awake, because Epictetus, a man born a slave who rose to become a philosopher, warned us men almost 2,000 years ago. If a stranger walked up and took your body, you'd be furious. But when you hand over your mind to anyone who comes along, when you let them disturb and confuse it, do you feel no shame? Yet here we are, grown men with strong hands but weak spines, giving away our peace of mind to the moods of a pretty face, to the approval of a partner, or to the hope that she'll stay another day. Understand this: Epictetus never wrote about women to attack them. He didn't have to. His warning was aimed at men themselves, our weakness for validation, our fear of rejection, our confusion between what we desire and what we're truly meant to do. And above all, he made one truth crystal clear: you do not owe your happiness to any woman. Let me repeat that. For the man who thinks flowers are the same as respect, you do not owe your happiness to any woman. If you believe you do, then, as Epictetus would say, you've already surrendered the one thing the gods put fully in your control: your reason, your mind. In the Enchiridion, he reminds us, keep before your eyes daily death and exile, and everything that seems terrible. But above all, remember, none of these things are yours to command. You know what else isn't yours to command? Her emotions, her choices, her moods, her loyalty. And yet, every day, men build their self-worth on those shifting sands. They text first. They wait 3 hours for a reply. They panic at the silence. They spiral. Then they Google, how do I win her back? Or, what should I text when she pulls away? Brother, Epictetus is rolling in his stoic grave. He taught us the simplest, most freeing principle of all. Some things are up to us, and some are not. That's it. That's the root of freedom. She is not up to you. Her attention is not up to you. Her affection is not up to you. What is up to you? Your principles, your reactions, your time, your purpose. And the moment you compromise those things just to keep a woman, you've committed what Epictetus would call philosophical suicide, the slow death of your inner fortress. You weren't put on this earth to orbit someone else's moods. You weren't born to become the emotional servant of a woman who can't even manage her own emotions. And yet, men keep doing it. Why? Because no one ever taught you how to say no. Not just to her demands, but to your own desperation. To that whisper in your head that says, if I lose her, I'll be nothing. Epictetus had a word for that too. No man is free who is not master of himself. And if you find yourself saying yes when you mean no, holding back your truth because you're scared she'll be upset, agreeing just to avoid conflict, then you're not a partner. You're a hostage. And the ransom? Your dignity. But here's the tragedy: you think that's love. You've been told enduring disrespect is noble, that compromise equals romance, and that emotional chaos is just passion in disguise. You confuse peace with boredom. You confuse drama with meaning. And in doing so, you betray the very heart of Stoic wisdom. Epictetus never said, tolerate madness for the sake of love. What he said was this: when someone provokes you, remember it's your judgment that provokes you. Hold back that judgment, and you are safe. Translation: if she yells, let her. If she storms out, hold the door. If she withholds affection to manipulate you, walk away. Not because you're cold, but because you're centered. Because you no longer place your emotional thermostat in someone else's hands. Because your peace is yours. And Epictetus would remind you, it's not events that disturb us, but our judgment about them. And that leads to one uncomfortable truth. The thing a man must never do with a woman is let her rule him. Not because she's evil, not because she's beneath you, but because no human being, man or woman, should ever have the power to destroy your inner life without your permission. And yet, too many men today are broken inside because they forgot that. Look around you. Men date women who make their lives worse. And when you ask them why, they say, but I love her. Epictetus would laugh in their face. He'd say, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid regarding external things. Don't wish to seem wise, and you will become truly wise." Translation: if your version of love looks like slow self-destruction, it's not love, it's fear, wearing a costume. Fear of being alone, fear of being unwanted, fear of starting over. And Epictetus knew what fear does. It makes slaves out of men. Emotional slaves, financial slaves, slaves to lust, to memory, to longing. So what's the cure? He taught, freedom is the only worthy goal in life, and it is won by disregarding things beyond our control. So ask yourself, are her emotions in your control? Number, is her opinion of you in your control? Number, is her loyalty guaranteed by your effort? Never. Then why, in the name of Zeus, have you made her the center of your universe? And here's another trap: trying to fix her. Men waste years thinking, if I'm patient enough, if I love hard enough, if I sacrifice more, she'll finally change. She'll see me. She'll respect me. But Epictetus had no patience for this savior complex. He warned, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. And brother, if you think you already know how to fix someone who doesn't want to change, you haven't learned a thing. So what happens? You shrink. You apologize for your masculinity. You silence your opinions. You set aside your ambitions, all just to keep a connection that only survives when you stay small. That's not love. That's spiritual castration. And while you bleed slowly under the banner of being a good man, Epictetus is whispering through the ages, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Stop talking about self-respect, live it. Stop preaching about standards, start enforcing them. Because the second your actions contradict your values, especially for a woman, you've already lost. Not just her, yourself. And when you lose yourself, what's left? A hollow shell. Laughing at jokes you don't find funny. Tolerating disrespect you swore you'd never accept. Calling it love because you're too afraid to start over. That's not stoicism. That's betrayal of your own soul. And Epictetus? He wouldn't pity you. He would correct you. He'd say, first, decide what kind of man you want to be. Then, do what you must to become him. So you said you wanted peace. Why are you chasing chaos in heels? You said you wanted a queen. Why are you tolerating a tyrant in your bed? You said you were a man. Why are you behaving like a beggar for affection? Epictetus would call it tragic. Not because you're weak, but because you've forgotten your birthright autonomy. Not isolation, autonomy. And remember, no great thing is created suddenly. There must be time. Give your best. And the rest is not yours to command. That means stop forcing outcomes. Stop over-explaining. Stop trying to impress. Because that's not strength. That's performance. And here's the truth: when a man tries too hard to win a woman's approval, he will never win her respect. Why? Because the moment she senses you fear losing her, she knows she owns you. And what's the one thing you must never do with a woman? Let her become your judge, your therapist, your God. Because once you do, the relationship becomes a courtroom. She's the jury, and you're always on trial. So you suppress your truth. You walk on eggshells. You second-guess your instincts, not because it's love, but because you're afraid of her disapproval. And that, right there, is the death of stoic living. Do you know why men fear silence? Because silence does not lie. Words can soothe, distract, or deceive. But silence confronts you with yourself. Socrates understood this terror. He knew that behind every laughter, every ambition, every indulgence, there is a silence that asks, who are you when no one is watching? What remains when the crowd disappears? Most men cannot answer. They escape into noise, into comfort, into the warm illusion of certainty. But the wise man? He allows the silence to strip him bare, and in that unbearable emptiness, he discovers truth. Not the truth that flatters, but the truth that wounds. The truth that says, you are smaller than you think. You are weaker than you pretend. You are mortal. And it is only after swallowing this bitterness that he becomes unbreakable. Why does the wise man walk alone? Because once you see the truth, you cannot unsee it, and the crowd will not forgive you for it. Men cling to their illusions as if to air. Tell them their gods are weak, their pleasures are chains, Their ambitions are shadows, and you will not be praised. You will be hated, for to expose illusion is to rob a man of his comfort, his shield, his excuse for existing. This is the terror of truth. It does not unite. It divides. It draws a line between those who would rather sleep and the few who dared awake. Socrates chose the latter. And so, he was left with the silence of exile, the poison of the hemlock, the loneliness of a man who refused to bow to lies. Yet in that loneliness lies power. Because once you can endure truth without flinching, no man, no death, no God can enslave you again. So what remains, after the illusions are gone? Not wealth, not applause, not even the comfort of belonging, only the cold clarity of truth. Most men see this as a curse, but Socrates saw it as freedom. Because when you no longer need illusions, you can no longer be controlled by them. The crowd may sneer, the rulers may condemn, even death itself may come with its poison. Yet the man who has embraced truth is already untouchable. This is the dark comfort of philosophy. It takes away your illusions, your shelter, your sweetness, and gives you, in return, something stronger, a soul that cannot be deceived, a freedom that cannot be stolen. The wise walk alone, not because they despise the world, but because they refuse to live in chains.